My video got cut off. So, yeah, I was reading the comments to this horrendous channel, the Civil Rights Lawyer, which I'm pretty sure is a billionaire psyops to look like it's defending civil rights by focusing only on racial bias, but not doing so to stop racial bias, but to use it as a cover while you encourage people to attack every form of civil rights and liberalism. So they don't even know they're violating civil rights and being a liberal reactive pieces of shit. The comments to my valid response are next level wild. This one motherfucker said they got a felony. They didn't get a felony warrant. They arrested him, detained him for further questioning, which by the way is absolutely an appropriate response when the nature of the accusation is a violent ex-partner. Everything you're saying is irrational, that it has nothing to do with fair, liberal, protecting civil rights, protecting rights, how the cops should be proceeding here. You're saying the relationship was so long ago. Like, yeah, people hold grudges. Trust me, I know. People hold grudges for years and years. And it's entirely possible this guy has hated her all this time. And maybe she went on Facebook and said, like, the worst guy I ever met was Reed. And so he said, I'm going to go down to her trailer park and punch her ass. It's entirely possible that happened. Happens all the time, in fact. So that's irrelevant that their relationship was several years ago. The next thing he's saying is it's a felony warrant. Like, no, it's not a felony warrant. They're removing him from society, given the nature of the complaint. Could be he could come back the next day with a gun. So, you know, you remove the guy from the situation. If you're doing your job properly and you're a nurse or a cop, you always prioritize the situation that can have the most risk of harm. And even you do that even if it could result in discomfort for someone else, right? So as a nurse, you may be in a situation where you have two patients. One needs a pain pill and one has a medical emergency. You always go to the medical emergency first, the pain pill is next, right? And if you're a cop, you have a complaint which could result in death and murder. Could, given the data, they have enough data, wounds on her, prior relationship. And I know you people are like quad paraplegic, some kind of invalid. He has the upper body strength to absolutely kill, to use a gun, to do anything. So they have enough data to remove him from society and question him. And even if it results in discomfort for him, it's the right course of events. Because when cops don't do that, like this white trash bitch, who cares about this low class white trash bitch? He's clean and well dressed. People have died, right? And like as a nurse, like he's yelling for his pain pill. Oh my God, I gotta go get it. People have died. That's why you always prioritize events in that manner. Risk for most irredeemably harmful outcomes first. People's discomfort second. You are right. That is good policing. That is good nursing. This is like you're calling civil rights this self-centered. Like I wouldn't want to go down to the police station. It's like, well, you live in a society, okay? And if you're in a society, if cops or medical staff or anyone's making a determination this person whose life is at risk trumps temporary discomfort, that's called being in a society. That's called protecting civil rights and liberalism. What I want, what I get is called trampling it, right? I'm on my pain pill, you fucking bitch. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get it after this guy goes to the ER. That's what you should be doing, right? And I don't want to fucking go to the cop station. This bitch is crazy. It's like she could be crazy. We'll find out. But wounds, known history, and this nonsense, you couldn't do it. I know he's camping it up. Like he's rolling in that wheelchair. He's like, oh, I can't move my hands. Crazy. He's camping it up. If you really couldn't move your hands like that, you would not be in that wheelchair. And he's then using it in his house and shit. It's like, stop. The guy absolutely, honestly, the fact he's camping up, he can't use his arm. Like, why would you do that if you're innocent? If you're innocent, you would trust that you're going to be exonerated. Instead, he does this like, all of a sudden, I have the same level of disability as Stephen Hawking. You don't. You don't. You're lying. You're lying. In the video, he's using a self-propelling wheelchair. And you know how strong you have to be to use that device? My nieces can't use it. They have FSHD and their upper body weakness means they are in electric wheelchair, right? So the fact he's camping that up, like, I can't move my arms, it's like, you can. The fact he's had to do that makes me think this is another case where the civil rights lawyer is protecting a perp. Just like his buddy Christiana Elser, he was protecting, who's obviously guilty, right? Anyway, then this motherfucker goes on to say he has multiple witnesses say he's a dear party and friends. It's like, yeah, all of that was after being detained in question, right? So the fact this guy ended up being exonerated and all of that was after the cops did the right thing, which was remove him, so we can't go get a gun to blow her head off, and then question his ass. And it was found like, okay, these claims are not credible. Yeah, you would want if you were assaulted by somebody, you want something done to you. You would want the person assaulting you removed from society, not question them, and then we'll come back to you. And then they're like, she called the cops, gun. Boom. You don't want that. So why do you want someone else to go through that? Because you're imagining only what the guy who was detained for questioning is feeling. That's not how you decide how a liberal society proceed. You're given the equality of everybody, which should be the goal of a liberal society. The person saying they're at risk of dying is greater than the person who could be uncomfortable in a false allegation. And it just takes a few hours at the police station. What was going on? They were absolutely right. Absolutely right. And that's maximally protecting liberal rights and civil rights. The flip side of being in a society is you could be accused by people of shit. But you do want to live in a society where people's claims are taken seriously and investigated, because you could be in that situation where you were assaulted by somebody and maybe the person who assaulted you has more social power than you and your claims are taken seriously. That's what you want. You definitely want a society where people are treated equally and all claims are investigated. Unless you're a piece of shit criminal, then you don't want that. Because it makes it easier for you to get away violating rights, provided you manipulate the dynamic and biases, right? That's what the billionaires want. It's not their job to arrest every single person and let the courts sort it out. It's like, it is. It absolutely is. Their job is to gather rudimentary data to not make judgments outside their lane, like medical judgments, and detain people and question them. Yeah, it is absolutely their job to do that. These dumb motherfuckers. And I find it, there was another person responding saying, I hope you're never disabled and children and elderly. It's like, no, I am. That's why I'm not a reactive, ignorant piss shit who forms biases like, little cripple, you should be in a box. You can't do anything because I actually do work with the elderly and disabled, right? And I know it's not protecting civil rights to look at someone different in ability and be like, you can't do shit. Because that goes both ways. You like, oh, you can't, you're an innocent little victim, also goes with, you can't possibly be a scientist. You can't possibly do anything in society. And disabled people don't want that, right? That would actually be very illiberal and shitty. So you acting like you're nice for thinking people with a different ability can't do a crime is actually the flip side of that is they're non-actors in society. You can't be scientists, they can't be leaders, they can't be bosses, they can't do anything. And it's not true. It's not true. And if you had any medical knowledge, you would see he's using a self-propelling wheelchair. And when he's putting on the act like he can't move his hands is a lie. That's a lie. So he was lying doing that. I don't know why he did that, given he was exonerated. Maybe this is another case that the civil rights lawyer is helping his friend get out of the jam, and he did go down to his ex-partner's house and punch her for a long-standing grudge. Perhaps it's true. And, you know, it wouldn't be the first time this guy did that, given he did it for his ugly inbred friend, Christiana Elser. So it could be another case where he's pretending to protect civil rights, but helping his friend get out of charges. Maybe it did happen. Maybe he did go down to her trailer park and punch her in the fucking mouth and said, like, I never forgot how shitty you were when you cheated on me. And maybe that's why he thought to pretend he can't use his upper arms, even though he clearly can. And he's strong with it too to use a self-propelling wheelchair. I don't know, but yeah, he was lying about that. And if you don't believe me, you can see him using his wheelchair himself. Yeah. Basically, pig shit, ignorant people with no training who are illiberal, who are making biased judgments of people based on how they're dressed, their probable economic status. He looks upper middle class, she looks lower class, he looks more educated, she looks uneducated, and he's disabled, and he's some kind of quad, he can't do shit. Most biased, ignorant, reactive shit, and they're calling this protecting civil rights, and they're accusing me of being a Karen and cop lover. No, it's because I don't respect cops and I know they kill people for medical ignorance. I don't want cops making any kind of medical evaluation, right? It's actually law that cops, if they see someone mentally impaired, they can't just say they're drunk and bring them down to the station. They have to bring them to the ER. That's why the ER, if you go to the beds in the ER, there's always some drunk guy. Because 99% of the time it's a drunk, 1% of the time it's a CVA or hypoglycemia or something like that. After cops killed too mmany people, calling them drunk because it's some kind of drunk ass that people died from it. Now they bring them down to the ER and they let the medically trained people tell them what's going on. And it's the same thing here. Rather than cops look at this some kind of fucking wheels ass quad, they should say, let's just detain him and then we'll sort it out. We'll find out what his actual ability level is. As a nurse, I can tell you it's pretty high. As a nurse with medical education, can tell you, oh, this guy has evidence he can comfortably use a self-propelling wheelchair for his activity of daily living, so he can absolutely assault people. They don't know that. And the cop in the boss office saying, just bring him in because we don't know. He could have fucking been able to do it is right. You're wrong. You're wrong saying to look at disabled people and be like, they can't do shit, which is also adjacent to that drunk guy is fucking lying. Bring his ass in and he's dying of a CVA, which is why they can't do that anymore either. Yeah, so you're an ignorant piece shit. I do work with the vulnerable. I do respect them. And that's why I don't look at disabled people and say, like, you can't do shit ass wheels, which you're doing. And I also don't look at poor people as lesser citizens, right? When I was a nurse, I used to advocate for abuse of the poor. One of my one of my strongest memories is this dude. I think he was homeless, poor. He was a black guy with HIV. And I remember the manager sitting around laughing. He's trying to scam us for his HIV meds. I'm thinking to myself, how much of a monster do you have to be to laugh at a person in his situation not being able to get medical care in this shithole country? And you're getting promotions as a boss because you don't care like this. Yeah, so unlike you, I actually do care about people. And if I see somebody with dirty clothes or is a little poor or somebody with a disability, I don't say, you can't do shit, you don't deserve shit, or anything of the nature. So I don't look at this woman who's poor with lack of education, think she's a fucking lying bitch. And I don't look at this guy with clean clothes, upper middle class. What are you, officer? How dare you question me? I don't look at him as definitely innocent either. And that's why I'm a good person and I actually care about liberalism and civil rights, and you don't. You want a world where your biases are cool and it works in your favor and you're never inconvenienced. And you're a piece of shit. And sadly, people like you will win. And I'm a victim of people like you. You think you care about liberalism and protecting civil rights. You just want the bias in your favor. Okay? And you're a piece of shit pig ass. Happy to help.